Everyone asks me the same thing when they find out I live in a van. But where does all your stuff go? You're probably picturing cramped and chaotic in here too. I did before I actually lived it. But here's the thing, this tour isn't about what I gave up. It's about the fact that everything you're about to see has earned its spot. The kitchen, the bed, the storage, the systems that make this whole space actually work. I've packed and unpacked this van enough times to know every inch of it. So today, I'm giving you the full tour. Hey, I'm Steph. I used to have a house full of stuff, and I was holding on tight to control over pretty much everything. My space, my plans, my future. Now I live in this tiny home on wheels, learning what it looks like to live simply, get healthy, and actually let God lead instead. Before I take you inside, let me answer a question I get asked constantly. What exactly is this thing? In the RV world, there's a name for what I drive. A Class B is a traditional van that's been converted. A B+, what I have, is a van that's been cut away. A box has been added onto the back, which is why it's got more headroom and floor space than a straight van conversion, without going all the way up to a full Class A or Class C motorhome. Specifically, it's a Ford Transit, but not just any Transit. Mine's all-wheel drive, riding on beefy tires built for rough terrain. That combination is exactly why I chose it. I didn't want something that only worked on paved roads and manicured campgrounds. I wanted something that could actually get me to the places I felt like God was leading me. Dirt roads, backcountry spots a lot of rigs like this can't reach. You're wondering why I didn't just get a simpler van conversion or a bigger motorhome? That's the answer. I needed something in between. Enough space to actually live in, but still capable enough to go where the pavement ends. Every square foot in here has to earn its place. There's no spare room for, maybe I'll use this someday. If something is in here, it's because I use it, I love it, or I genuinely need it. That's really the filter behind everything you're going to see. This is the kitchen, if you can call it that. Right here, I've got a 2-burner induction cooktop, no open flame, no propane to worry about. Above that is a convection microwave, which pulls double duty as an oven for anything that needs real baking. When I need a little more than that, I've got a toaster oven I pull out and use on the counter, then put right back away when I'm done. No sense leaving it out, taking up space it doesn't need to. And over here is my fridge. It's plenty large, honestly bigger than people expect in a rig this size. It holds at least a week's worth of food, so I'm not running to the store every other day. It's small, but it's mighty. This tiny setup is where I cook real food, almost every single day, because eating well doesn't require a big kitchen, it just requires a decision. I've learned that a smaller kitchen doesn't mean a smaller diet. If anything, cooking in here forces me to keep things simple, which usually means healthier. Before I keep going, let me answer the 2 questions I get more than anything else: water and power. Because as fun as the pretty parts of van life look, this is the stuff that actually determines whether you can live somewhere for more than just a weekend. I've got pretty large tanks in here for a rig this size. 40 gallons of fresh water, which sounds like a lot, and it is, but I still have to be intentional about it. Then there's my gray tank, also 40 gallons, which is everything that drains from my sink and my shower. And a 30-gallon black tank, which is exactly what you're picturing. It's just part of RV life, and honestly, it's really no big deal once you're used to it. Water sounds simple until you're the one hauling it yourself. I've had to think about water completely different than I did in a house, where it just showed up out of the wall whenever I wanted it. Out here, every gallon is something I planned for, carried, or rationed a little. Some days that feels like a hassle. Most days it's taught me to actually notice how much I use instead of running the tap without thinking about it at all. For power, I've got a large lithium battery bank, solar panels on the roof, a generator as a backup, and a second alternator that charges the battery bank whenever I'm driving. Between all of that, I can stay off grid for days at a time without needing to plug into anything. Power works the same way. In a house, electricity is invisible until a bill shows up once a month. Out here, I can watch it in real time. How much the sun gave me that day, how much I used, whether I need to be more careful tomorrow. It's made me pay attention to consumption in a way I never did before. And that awareness has spilled over into other parts of my life too. Money, time, energy, all of it gets a little more intentional when you can't pretend the resource is unlimited. If you're the kind of person who's more curious about the logistics of this lifestyle than the aesthetics of it, drop your water, power, or tank questions in the comments. I'll turn the most common ones into their own videos. Back here is where I sleep. I used to think a smaller sleeping space would feel cramped. It's actually the opposite. Less space to heat, less space to keep clean, and somehow it feels more like a nest than my king-size bed back in the house ever did. Since I've made protecting my sleep a real priority, this little corner has become one of my favorite spots in the whole van. Quick pause. If you're enjoying this tour so far, go ahead and subscribe, because next I'll be showing you the storage system that makes all of this work. Starting with the garage. Underneath my bed, what most van lifers call the garage. It's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's the deep storage space where the bulkier stuff lives. This is where I keep my extra blankets, power banks, my suitcase and bins for things like water, hoses, and other essentials I only need when I'm actually on the move. The best part is how I can get to it. I can access the garage from inside the van, but I can also get to it from outside through the back door. That back door actually has a screen built into it, which means I can leave it open at night and sleep with fresh air coming through without worrying about the bugs. Let's talk about the bathroom, because this is one of the biggest differences between vans, and it's one people usually don't ask about until they're already living in one. A lot of vans have what's called a wet bath. That means the shower and the toilet share the exact same space. You step in, shower, and then you have to wipe down the whole bathroom afterward because everything just got wet, toilet included. I have a dry bath instead. My shower has its own separate space, so using it doesn't turn my whole bathroom into a wet mess every time. Some van lifers skip having a shower altogether and just rely on campground showers or a gym membership. I get why people do that, but it's never been for me. I use my own shower. It's plenty large, and it's really all I need. This is my closet, my entire wardrobe. A while back, I built what's basically a capsule wardrobe. Every piece has to work with at least 3 or 4 other pieces, or it doesn't make the cut. It sounds restrictive, but it's actually freeing. I get dressed faster, I stress less over what to wear, and I stop buying things I didn't need just because they were on sale. In here, I just don't have room for a bunch of single-use kitchen tools, so everything has to earn its keep. One knife cuts my food and peels an apple. I don't need a separate peeler taking up space for a job my knife already does. A mixing bowl doubles as a serving bowl. And when it comes to dishes, I keep just a few plates, bowls, and silverware. Enough for what I actually need, nothing more. Almost everything in here does double duty. If it only serves one purpose, and I only use it once a month, it's probably not in here anymore. That's been one of the biggest shifts for me. Not just owning less, but making sure what I do own is actually working for me. And honestly, dishes never really pile up in here because there's nowhere for a dirty dish to sit and wait. If I use it, I clean it right then. There's no stack building up in a sink I don't have room for. I want to be honest though, I didn't get this right on the first try. When I first moved into the RV, and then again when I moved into this van, I brought things I thought I needed and quickly realized I didn't. I overpacked the kitchen the first time. I brought way too many clothes the second time. It took actually living in the space, not just imagining what I'd need, to figure out what earns its keep in here. So if you're thinking about simplifying your own space and it doesn't click perfectly on the first attempt, that's normal. This isn't a one-time purge. It's an ongoing conversation with yourself about what's actually serving your life. This right here is my table, and if there's one spot in this van that does the most work, it's this. This is where I sit down to actually work. It's where I film these videos and where I edit them afterwards. It's also where I eat my meals. One table, 4 different jobs, depending on the hour of the day. People ask me all the time how I decide what makes the cut in here. Honestly, it's pretty simple. I ask myself 3 questions. Do I actually use this? Do I love it? And could I replace it easily if I needed to later? If something can't answer yes to at least one of those, it usually doesn't stay long. It's not about owning as little as physically possible. It's about only keeping what's actually earning its place in my life. And that filter has slowly started showing up in other areas too, not just my stuff. How I spend my time, what I let take up space in my head, what I actually give my attention to in a day. So here's the honest math on all of this. I gave up a house. I gave up a closet bigger than this entire van. I gave up having a spot for every random thing I might somehow or someday need, just in case. But here's what I got instead. Less to clean, less to manage, less competing for my attention. More time, more stillness, fewer decisions to make about stuff, which somehow leaves me with more energy for the decisions that actually matter. And honestly, more room to actually notice God in an average day instead of just running past Him on the way to the next thing. There's a verse in Philippians that's become one of my favorites out here, where Paul says he's learned to be content, whatever the circumstances, whether he has little or a lot. Standing in this van, surrounded by basically everything I own, I feel that verse in a way I never did in a full-size house. Owning less didn't shrink my life. If anything, it made more room in it for God, for people, for the stuff that actually matters. I don't think the size of your space determines any of that. I just think mine forced the lesson faster than a bigger one would have. If this gave you a real look at what van life actually looks like, hit subscribe, because next time I'm getting into something a little deeper. What minimalism has actually taught me about trusting God. And if there's a specific corner of the van you want me to go deeper on, how I handle water, how I store food, how I do laundry on the road, drop it in the comments. I'm building this channel around what's actually useful to you, not what I feel like filming. There's also a link in the description if you want to join my email list. That's where I share updates and a heads up before new videos go live. Until next time, live simply, grow strong, stay rooted.